Hey, everybody. Yes, I am late, but I'm here. I am here. It's Tuesday night, 7:10. It's time to grandstand with Mother Theresa. Listen, everybody, if you haven't grabbed your snack, your favorite beverage, of course mine, Theresa is on. Let them know that it's time to grandstand. And guess what? We have a topic for you on tonight that I know is going to resonate with a lot of people because guess what? Guess what? It's definitely resonating with me. All right? Okay, let's get this party started. Listen, everybody. Listen. How many of you all have experienced just a tiredness that just seems like no matter how much sleep you get, no matter how rested you may try to lay on the couch, kick back in the recliner, but you're still tired. You're still just tired. Some of us can be strong on the outside, but baby, we are tired on the inside. And when I say tired on the inside, you all, I'm talking about being tired, really tired. And when I say really tired, sometimes we can be so tired, you all, that it's so hard for us to function. Now listen, I know that I am late getting started, but there is a whole lot of things that's going on right now. So I am not sure actually how long I am going to be grandstanding on tonight, because when you have multiple hats that you wear, sometimes you've got to take care of some of those other things in order to make sure everything flows well. And part of that is the reason why I'm tired, okay? All right, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me get my everything set up so I can see what you're saying. I see people coming in. I see my people are coming in, but guess what? I want to be able to see what you're saying to me. So let me get everything situated. Okay. I'm trying to switch over and it's not doing what I need it to do. There it is. There it is. Okay. I think I got it. I think I got it. There it is. Hey, Miracle. Hello, Mama. I know my honey is watching. I think Ned should be on here. The rest of my people should be on here. But guess what? If you're not on here, you can always catch the replay. And not only can you catch the replay, but you can then share the replay with others. So tonight's topic is strong on the outside and tired on the inside. And if you can see what I have on, yes, I have my pajamas on already. Matter of fact, I shared with my husband, I said, if it was at all possible, I would like to do tonight's segment in my bed. In my bed, everybody. Yes, you heard that right. I would like to do the session in my bed. But let me just tell you all, sometimes we can have the smile on the outside, and you all know I love to smile. You've got the strength, but deep down you are exhausted. And so I wanted to share with you all tonight that tonight's live stream is for those of you all and those of us that is still carrying the weight. Even though we may do it quietly, we are still carrying on. I don't blame you. It'd be like that sometimes. Absolutely. We are still carrying all of the responsibilities that we have to do. And we're doing it. And a lot of times, Miracle, we make it seem like it's so easy. You make it seem like it's so easy. And I wanted to ask you all, have you ever felt like you are holding everybody else up while you are slowly sinking, or you are drifting, or you are just fading away? I know a lot of us have felt like that, especially women. Hey, Tina, I'm so glad you're back with us on tonight. Yes, a lot of us have felt like we've got to hold everybody up. We've got to hold everybody together. But yet, all the while, we are slowly sinking. Not only are we slowly sinking, but it does something to us. It does something to us physically. It does something to us emotionally. Uh, it drains us. But guess what? As women, as mamas, you all know what we do. We keep on going. We just keep right on going. You get the job done, even if you are drowning yourself, okay? You're going to smile through the storms that come, but deep down, you are like me. You're tired. And it's not being lazy, it's not being weak. You're just tired. And I can tell you all about a time that I was just going and I was going and I was going. And it's actually been a little over 2 years ago when I had my health scare with my feet. And as still working and trying to make sure that I'm doing everything. And I noticed, you all, and I've shared this story with you all before. I got up out of the bed one morning, and when I stepped down, I think it was my right foot. When I stepped down, I began to, my foot was hurting. My foot was hurting. And not only was my foot hurting, but I almost went down to the ground, to the floor. Okay. I went down to the floor. And when I went down to the floor, basically what happened was that I was like, what just happened? What really just happened? But guess what? I was able to get up and I was able to go on about my day. And guess what I did? Like so many of us and so many of you, I brushed it off. I brushed it off. I got ready. I went to work, and it was like nothing had happened. All right. So guess what happened? Like, it wasn't the next day, but it was probably maybe 2 days after that. The same thing happened again. And I see a statement somewhere. I'm going to have to read it. The same thing happened again. Miracle said this topic is definitely hitting home, maintaining and struggling. Yes, absolutely. And we need to talk about that, Miracle. But the next day, the next time it happened, the pain was more intense. And it was to the degree where I could not go to work. Okay. I had to stop, and I was like, I was in my mind, I was like, I don't know what happened earlier, but it's happened again. And this is something serious that I've got to take note of. Do you all know that I was off work over 2 months? Not only did it affect my right foot, but it affected my left foot as well. And that was the beginning of me finding out that I had psoriasis. And my body, not only was it my foot, and I've shared with you all, I went through this whole ordeal, and it's much longer than the 30 minutes that I have on tonight. But I went through a lot of different things just to find out that I was diagnosed with psoriasis and then psoriatic arthritis, which is an autoimmune disease. And so, and of course, other family members also have autoimmune diseases. And it is when your body begins to fight against itself. And so I am still struggling with that. I'm still dealing with that and some of the things. And so my whole story, long story made short, is that guess what? I was trying to be strong on the outside, but I was tired on the inside. And because I kept going, and I was just pushing all of that aside, and now I have something that is going to, uh, I'm not going to say be with me for the rest of my life, because let me tell you, I do believe that we serve a God that's able to heal everything, that can totally make me feel 100% better. But now I'm on a regimen where I have to, hey, baby, I'm on a regimen now where I have to take infusions. And not only do I have to take infusions every month, but it has definitely limited my walking ability. It's definitely limited, really, I would say, my life, my whole lifestyle. Because when you have an autoimmune disease, it it makes you tired, it makes you exhausted. And my thank God for my husband because he does so very much for me at the house. He was always doing that. You know, this is nothing new for him, but he does so very much for me, because when I say I go to work and it takes everything within me to just get up and go to work every day and then come home and I'm exhausted. And now what I find myself wanting to do is to take a nap when I get home. And I keep telling my husband I'm too young to be taking these afternoon naps. But it really has nothing probably to do with my age, but rather the diagnosis. So let me get back to what I'm saying. I said all of this to say this, is that sometimes we got to realize that we're not being lazy, we're not being weak, we are just tired. And it's time out for us thinking that we have to be the strong women who can do everything. We do not have to be super women. We do not have to have on that cape and think that we can do everything. Sometimes what you all have to do is you've got to learn to rest. And not only do you have to learn to rest, but you also have to explain to other people that when you say, no, I can't come to your event or your function or your whatever, it's not that you're being ugly or you're being whatever, but you're trying to protect you. You're trying to protect your body. You know how you feel, and you know, yes, Tina, you know that I just can't show up like I used to for everything. Because if I keep showing up for you, when who's going to show up for me? If I keep showing up for you, and if I keep going, and if I keep doing, guess what? What I'm doing is I'm wearing myself completely out. So what I want to do is I want to let you all know, um, I want you to ask yourself, how are you doing? Ask yourself, how am I doing? Because we ask so many people that. We ask people that, how are you doing? And when they tell you how they're doing, guess what? If they're not doing so well, guess what mode we immediately go into? A fix it mode. Okay? We want to help them. We want to make sure that we are doing whatever we can do for them to fix them. But guess what? I want somebody to ask me, how are you doing? How am I doing? And really, when you ask me how I am doing, that you're really sincere about wanting to know and to hear my answer. Okay? Hear the answer that I'm sharing with you. Because if I tell you that I'm not doing well, then I need you to understand that if I'm not doing well, I probably need some help. I probably need some assistance. Okay? And the assistance that I may need sometimes is just a listening ear. But sometimes it may be, hey, guess what? I can't sweep my floor. I need you to come and help me. I need you to come over to my house and help sweep my floor for me, or wash my dishes, or put the laundry on for me, or watch the kids while I get a nap. Now, I don't have any kids, but I'm just saying, okay? for you all mamas who do have kids, mama, how are you doing at this very moment? Net, mama is a little bit tired, okay? That's why I have my pajamas on, because when I get done, I'm going to bed. Yes. But not until I take care of some things that's happening at work as we speak. Thank you for asking me, Ned. And I know you really meant that, okay? Um, and that's what I'm talking about. It's okay to ask your mom. It's okay to ask your children. It's okay to ask your spouse. It's okay to ask any of your friends. How are you doing at this very moment? And you are so ready to hear them. And here I see the pajamas. Yes, yes. Ask them, and at that very moment, be willing to listen. Because remember, I said that sometimes all that we may need is for somebody to listen to us. Okay? You may just need to vent. You just may need to vent. All right. So, some talking points. Now, some of the talking points, most of the audience that I see on here, especially that's on here with me tonight, are African American women. And we hear people say different phrases about strong Black women or strong Black men. But let me tell you, being strong has no color. There are strong white women, strong Hispanic women, strong Asian women. You know, women and men, they can be strong. It doesn't matter what their skin color is, okay? But what I want to talk to you all about is that just because, and sometimes people wear that phrase as a badge of honor. When they say, oh, you a good, strong, woman, you're a strong woman, you know how to put together and make it all happen. We wear that as a badge of honor. But sometimes we need to think about it and say, I don't know if that's what I want to be wearing as a badge of honor. Because I can recall one of my girls telling me that be honest and don't simply say I'm good. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're right, honey. And that is something that my honey often says. I definitely need to vent right now, but I'll start crying, so I'll vent some other time. That's all right, Nitch. You can call me. You can call me when I'm done. You can talk to me. My husband often say that it is so cliche that when you ask people, it's an automatic response to say, I'm good. We have been conditioned to say, I'm good, or I'm doing all right. Or guess what? This is the one that for the churchy people used to say, I'm blessed and highly favored. Okay? How many of you all have said that? I am blessed and highly favored. And although I am blessed and highly favored, there have been some times that I know that I'm blessed and highly favored, but I am broken on the inside, that I am just about to come apart on the inside. But guess what? We put on that mask, we put on that face, and we smile, and we go on about our business, and we put on that strong, like I got it all together, and we walk on out that door, and nobody ever knows what's going on with you, okay? And when I talk about tired, you all, I'm not just talking about a physical tiredness. I'm talking about you can be tired in your spirit. You can be tired emotionally, okay? Not just physically, okay? So when I say that, I'm not always talking about that physical thing, okay? And also, we want you all to understand is that sometimes the reason why we always say, I'm good, or I'm blessed and I'm highly favored, or I'm blessed by the best, or any of those things that we might say, is because we are afraid of letting people know that how we really feel, because sometimes people look at that as a sign of weakness. Yes. They look at that as a sign of weakness. But then sometimes we can be so to the degree where we've kept ourselves always feeling like we've got to be on 10, that if we begin to feel like we need to ask somebody for help, we begin to start having some own self-doubt and say, wait a minute, is that, am I not this strong woman that I need to be asking somebody for help? Sometimes we don't even want to ask people for help because it's like we're admitting that we are weak. But that's not a sign of weakness. We all need some help every now and then, okay? And sometimes what happens is that emotionally, because we have kind of kept on that persona for so long, and we have kind of kept that up, is that when I say that we are emotionally malnourished, is that we have gotten to the point, because we have just kind of pushed our emotions to the side for so long, that we are now emotionally, I would say, malnourished. So we got to change that. We don't want to always be thinking about, I don't want to leave on a doom and gloom note. I want you all to know that, guess what? There are some remedies for this, most definitely. I'm going to start out with talking about just being physically tired and sleepy. Okay. When you're sleepy, go to sleep. Okay. If you need a nap, take a nap if you possibly can. Now, if Candace is on here, Candace, you can't just take a nap and the kids are running all around. You may have to put them in the room with you and, okay, everybody get in the bed. Everybody's going to take a little quick nap together. That way you're all in there together. Put those babies in the bed, because that bed is big enough, Miracle. Put everybody in the bed. Everybody gonna take a nap right now. Okay, we're gonna shut down the house. We're gonna shut it all the way down. Everybody go to your room. Your babies are big enough. Go to your room. Put little Randy in there in the bed with you. Or put Nyla in charge, Miracle, and say, hey, don't nobody come in this house and don't nobody go out of this house. It's nap time. All right. And then not only that, I talked about the physical side of it. When you are tired and emotionally, self-care is essential. You're absolutely right. Sometimes we are carrying around so many different things. We talked about grief. We talked about trauma. We've talked about childhood trauma. We've talked about present day trauma. We've talked about caregiving. We've talked about responsibilities. We've talked about so many different things. But what I want you all to understand is that you don't have to carry all of that weight by yourself. There are some consequences of trying to always carry that by yourself. You get burnout. Sometimes we begin to start having resentment against other people, because what it looks like is that you're over there doing all that other stuff, and I'm over here tired, about to fall out, but yet you're ready to go and party or go out and do whatever, but yet I'm over here drained. And so sometimes we can start having resentment. It also depletes our joy. It depletes our joy, but not only does it deplete our joy, but it can deplete our health. Remember I said about how I, had to take 2 months off unexpectedly? Listen, I needed that rest more than you could have ever made me believe that I needed that rest, that time off, okay? I was able to do a little bit of work initially or after a while, but I needed to just sit and get myself together. Not only did I was able to, because I couldn't hardly walk, I had a boot on both of my feet, but it was also time for me to start thinking and getting my mind right, you all, my spirit right. So many different things that I needed to do for myself. Okay. I needed to do for myself that I could not do it while I was still up moving around. And sometimes God has to say, listen, I'm going to sit you down if you don't get somewhere and take care of yourself. Okay. And so what I wanted to tell you, what does rest look like? Rest looks like, because my time is, even though I was late, I'm going to wrap it up. Rest looks like saying no and meaning no, okay? Taking a social media break, which I know I need to do sometimes. Sleeping in if you possibly can. Uh, Eating without rushing, actually taking your time to enjoy your meal. Crying when you need to cry. Listen, there was once upon a time in my life that I was going through something and I was sharing some things. And when I tell you I cried, I cried, I cried, I cried, I cried, I cried. But when I was done, baby, I felt so good. I felt like I had cried. Like they, there's a song said, I cried my last tear. Honey, that crying was, it was like it was releasing years of just pent up, just stuff. And I felt so light and refreshed. But that crying, you all, and it wasn't that little bitty, no, it was that ugly cry where you just get in a room by yourself and you just cry and you just let it all hang out, so to speak. And the last thing is asking for help. And that's what I shared with you all before. Sometimes we feel like, I said earlier that we hold everybody. We hold everybody up. We hold everybody. We do whatever. But it's time for us to start letting somebody hold us. Physically, if you have a spouse, you have a significant other, there is power and healing in the physical touch. And if you don't have a spouse or a significant other, guess what? The touch is different when it's coming from your kids, but it's still touch. I love getting hugs from my kids and my grandkids. Now, it's a very different hug than I get from my husband. But another hug or another being held is being held in the arms of God. And I don't think there's a comparison for that. Because when you know that God has got you, you know that you're in the best arms ever. And as I wrap up on tonight, let me get to my song as I am getting ready to wrap up. I want to end with a prayer. I want to definitely end with a prayer. I hope you all have enjoyed this on tonight. I know it's kind of been a little bit, like I said, I've got some other things I need to finish up when I get done with this, some work stuff that's still going on. But I wanted to just come on and share with you all a couple of things that was in my spirit. And Ned, I know you're going to go and get some sleep as soon as you get done. Good for you, daughter. Call me tomorrow then. But God, I lift up every person who's watching on tonight, who's been silently carrying the world on their shoulders. I want you to give them rest, God. I want you to give them some rest, not just for their bodies, but for their souls. And I want you to remind them that you're not just a God of power, but a God of peace. I want you to teach them to sit when they have an opportunity. I want you to teach them to be able to stop what they're doing when they have an opportunity. I want you to have them to learn to trust you, that you know what's best for them. And not only trust you to know what's best for them, but also for them to allow you to do the things that you know is best for them. To let go of some things that they've been carrying. Because you all know, and we know, that we can carry so much. But God, I want you to allow them to let go of the things that they've been carrying. Because after all, we know that the Word of God says that when we are burdened and heavy laden, we can cast everything on you. And then not only that, and you just have to let him do it. Let him do it. So on tonight, you all, that's all that I have for you. That's all that I have. And I'm going to say good night, everybody. I hope that this has been great for you. I have enjoyed grandstanding with you all on tonight. And as my sister Cynthia often says, good night, grandstanders. We will see you all on the next time. All right, everybody. Mama, you have a good night. Tina, you have a good night. Miracle, Honey, Net, anybody else that's watching, anybody, Jackie. Hey, Jackie, cousin Jackie. I hope that this was a blessing to you all and that you all will come back on next week to see what I have to share with you all. You never know what I have up my sleeve. Now listen, everybody, I want you all to get off of here and I want you to get some rest, okay? Get some rest. Take care of your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul. Take care of you. Because guess what? If you don't take care of you, nobody else will. Y'all have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye. Lights off, everybody. My husband in here playing with these lights. All right. Bye-bye. We'll see y'all the next time. Good night, everybody.